Greetings, YouTubers, and welcome back to the kingdom. One moment, I'm gonna get my Discord set up. That should be that. Ron Gamer, you are up early. Drew, welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you guys in here. I figured that if we are going to all be bored, we might as well be bored together. Or grind, I should say. A little bit of update where I am currently. Sitting at almost 7,000 souls. I'm going to try to get in a few more thousand tonight. Other good news is due to the grind and the lands I've been grinding, I should have another Forge video once we have enough people get on. Hopefully it'll be another lucky night. Here we go. And as always, if you guys are up for it, you're welcome to join me in Discord. Come on in, Drew. You are always welcome. This will be a good night. To be honest with you guys, I don't normally stream this much, but I feel since we're a lack of streamers on that someone needs to represent. Even if there's no necessarily new ideas to share, it's about making sure that we're all not grinding alone. Here we go. Welcome. Oh, there we got Pisces and Doom in Discord now.
Yep.
Good to see you guys, as always. Especially since my thought capacity hasn't dropped too much at the moment. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and find some good lands to raid. I don't want to lose too many more troops, because just dismissed a bunch and I have a whole slew of buildings, so let's go with some easier lands. Alright, it looks like it's just us three in here. I think Ron even left. And go ahead.
I said I missed the spider.
I gotta tell you, sometimes having a little bit of music playing in the background is exactly what you need. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and start it off with a nice little... Oh, just in case you're trying to talk, Drew. Oh, okay, you already got yourself off mute. I'm going to go ahead and see if tonight's going to be a good forging night, because I have a bunch of relics. We are going over to Yggdrasil. Here we go.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Good to have you here. Nigel, welcome to the stream.
Sorry, it took me trying to get the audio speaker.
That's fine. You know what, let me turn down the volume a little bit on this music. Now that we got a few people in chat. Man. So I netted a ton of relics over the course of the last 24 hours. Like, I don't know, I was getting them, they were dropping more than normal. Couldn't explain it.
Yeah, same here. Way overstocked story, but unfortunately I've not had success the last 2 days in forging, so they're just collecting.
Well, this is number 4 for me. We'll see what happens.
Well,
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
what relic are you working on?
I'm going to be working on my Odin relics now. Yggdrasil's bow at the moment. Alright, one more shot. I have something like 150 relics in my inventory even after yesterday. So I got 300 relics in a day.
Jeez. Yeah, I was at the Alliance leaderboard to see how many soul counts some of our members were having.
Mm-hmm.
That I had well over 900 battles already so far this season. I was like, man, I need to get a life.
Wow. That's honestly how I'm feeling. I did that boar event, and I am just drained at the moment for doing battles. Oh. Alright.
I've only been using the relics in this event, haven't pulled together, and yeah, mine I'm already down at over 10,000. I still got a ways to go that orb.
Man, you guys know that. You guys know my feelings on the orbs. I think I've talked about them too much. All those orbs are super important.
Hey, it'll be my gotta get it by any means possible.
Now, the funny thing is, those orbs are not attacking relics. Well, they can be used to help bolster some defenses. They're used to complete your defenses that you're going to end up using. I need them because I have that Metano and Skolnar that I need to make sure that I get the right builds for.
I think I go on your stream last night. I can see it being used immediately for my Crothos. He's level 52 as of today, and with my low level imps, once I am able to open up that 6th slot, because my imps are not that strong in health, even with the 2 frost shields that are on it. I mean, I feel that extra resistance to the archers and grenadiers would be helpful.
You're right. I mean, basically those imps need to be able to absorb 2 shots from grenadiers on average before they actually reach the grenadiers. And the health is going to help, but the resistance is what's going to make the difference. Okay. That's one downfall of auto rating. Sometimes units spawn in inconvenient places. Let me see if I can get some of that, more of that music on. Maybe try to lower the volume a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I have a long list of things that they're trying to weaken. Some players have some just stuff that they needed to fix, but they'll fix those weird spawning points to where they just get stuck in trees or stuck behind a wall or something.
It's true. It's true. To be honest with you guys, I keep fearing that, the next week is going to be the week that they release the new relic forging system. And my fear is that I'm not going to have burned through all my 3-star relics before that happens.
Yeah, man, it's not going to be good for me either, because I only in the last month or so just picked up on your forging method and loving it, so I'm hoping that they don't change it either. I've had more success in that than ever before.
I mean, you're actually able to keep up and sometimes even beat out the leveling of your Titans. And that's rare in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's nice because I mean when you're working on one Titan, right? I mean it can take a good amount of time to level it up, but you know at least it takes you to forge a 4-star relic from 1 to 10. I mean about that time frame is about how long it might take you to level up 10 slots to up that new relic slot. So you're just kind of building those relics as you're building the Titan. So as you said and what other people think the new relic forging process will be, and you know, yeah, you'll know exactly what percentage it is before you get a success. As we know, if they go, that's just going to cost a lot more relics than what you know currently you could be doing with it.
It's true. Yoon, welcome to the stream. I've got to ask you, how many souls you got, Yoon? Because I think today I've grinded to the point where you were at last night. So I think I am way behind. Now when I have full relic inventories like this, I will admit that 2 or 3 times a day I will attempt to do a forge every 6 hours. Jason Jerome, welcome to the stream. I liked your analysis this morning, man.
Yeah, his analysis is definitely fresher because he was on Res Out his, you know, candidate personality got my.
Alright, so the souls I'm at right now, I think I'm like 2 or 3 battles away from 7,000 souls. Bloodwolf, welcome to the stream. Any of you guys who are interested, you're welcome to join in Discord. The more the merrier. Rio, welcome to the stream, man. Oh, just hit 7,000.
As I said, this speaker and I'm going through grinding, you can't hear me, you know, right? Like you can't my thumb tapping the screen and like that.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I mean, the mic's crackling a little bit, but not too bad.
Okay.
My target tonight, the ideal target is 10,000. If I can get to 10,000 tonight, I'll be on track with getting to the Paladin tomorrow, and then on Monday I can use relics and whatever I need to get where I have to, even though it's a work day. But I'm hesitant to use any relics until I can get the maximum boost out of it. Man, I am way behind you, Yoon. Way behind. Oh.
Bad guys roll on Lataris, or how you pronounce that Titan's name?
What was the question again?
Did you see bad guy?
No. No. What did he end up getting?
Serves me. I mean, his skills
It was good.
across all the
It was
elements, with the exception of like maybe one.
It was Imperial Health. Imperial's Health has the first skill. Then it was resist ice and poison. Then resist fire, and then resist physical, and then it's health. Or was it armor? Yeah, it's pretty much that skill, I believe. I think that's the right one. And then I busted on him about, you know, he got it from level 1 to 41. And I go, what? You're not going to go from level 1 to 60? Come on.
Bad guy. He has been around for quite some time, and although he took a break, it's good to see him back on in some measure. Rio says he wishes he had a 1.4 Titan. Yes, it does make it a lot longer to lower your boost. That's actually one of the things that tempted me to go for the orb in this. I knew it would be a long grind, but I'd have as close to a max boost as I could get. And I'll get myself a nice orb. Yeah, I mean, while I'm happy that bad guy got a good roll, Titan's not going to be used. Paladins need, the grind does. It's painful, guys. That's one thing I will always be honest about. Sometimes you just want to bang your head against the wall while you're doing this.
Or just about just someone to do grinding for you. Get your own little assistant.
Yeah, you can tell a game is unbalanced when you're using a Titan who's supposed to use different troops, and he buffs those other troops, but simple buffs from relics are just much better with a different troop.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the AI have kind of, changed some things as far as some of the army units and whatnot. If I could just make a wild guess, if they make another AI update at some point, I would think the next one would be, probably some physical troops or enhance it, change the gameplay or some of the stats.
That's true. Now, that aside, Panthers were nerfed pretty heavily, so it's strange to think that the unit of choice right now is archers.
Yeah, no one knows that.
Who would have thought I started this game that archers at any point would be the unit of choice? Because they were literal garbage back in the day.
That or the classic shooter battles with all Goliath.
There you go. Goliaths were OP at the beginning, but they were never good at attack. Oh man. Man, I cannot believe this, guys. I mean, I can't do this like. I mean, I probably shouldn't have done it this much this week. Stream 4 days in a row. That is way too much for my time schedule. But once again, I felt bad that YouTubers don't have any representation.
Well, I gotta put this, I mean, the others aren't doing it, so, at least I'm thankful that you're up to do it. Give us something to watch.
There you go. You know what? I might grind with imps just so you don't have to be alone tonight, Rio. But this moment is not that moment. Well, Nigel, when it comes down to it, I remember how long these events are whenever you're grinding on your own. You're falling asleep at your phone or you're doing something else and you're thinking, you know what, I can just stop for today. Then you stop too many times, too many days in a row, and you'll never get to your goal.
And then you had to grind for like tons of hours straight.
Yep. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that I figured out how to make the forging system work for me, I don't know if the grind would be worth it. But the fact that I get to level up so many relics by doing this, it's pretty big. And I like this particular event because I get to grind with Krothos, meaning I'm one Titan closer to the Titan Arena item.
Also, to the fact that he's a berserker, so it goes a bit quicker.
That's true.
Yeah, good point on that.
Oh, yes, I hit the jackpot, guys. I found a series of lands that have several troops that I can maximize my drops, and they're low defense, so I'm not going to lose any troops. Because I disbanded a bunch of my drops today, and right now all of my barracks are full with building. So I don't want to lose too many more troops at the moment.
Yeah, I've really targeted castle level. I mean, it's a Masters. You won't find this in Legends, but been having to attack all castle level, 13 and below because of my ints and whatnot. So it's been a little challenge.
Good morning, Cage. Welcome to the stream. Here we go. All right. So one thing that I have been Non-Toxic is making a push for VP next week. We want to get another top 3. In the last 2 months or so, I think we've had half of the time we've been in the top 3, with us ranging from first place to third place. Yes, I am in Non-Toxic, Jason Jerome. Any idea what alliance that your mini's in? Okay. Resources. And I think I may have been way off with my gem assessment of 8,000. Well, I still have the 2 big gem amounts to get. I mean, I think I'll end this event with probably 25,000 gems. If I just continue to grind it. If I use some tokens once I get Matthias, the paladin guy, then I'll probably end with close to 30,000 gems. And if you guys know, I started off with 34,000 gems.
How far is this that you're going for?
What's that?
How far into the event did you say that you're going for?
At the bare minimum, 19,000.
You plan on using the new paladin?
Yeah, as soon as I get them, I'm going to use them. That 2.0 boost is big. And that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to use tokens, I'm going to wait till I get him to make sure I maximize those token usage. Because a token off of a 1.4 boost is significantly less than a token off of a 2.0 boost. But I gotta tell you, this game would be much worse if that buff to free-to-play didn't come out, where you could skip the victory screen. I mean, I feel like I save so much time doing that now.
Well, if you expect the bottom right, you keep tapping quick, it'll instantly fly right through, which makes it even better.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, such a small thing in the gameplay makes such a big impact.
There we go. Jeez. I will say that grinding with Rangers is probably Rangers with Panthers is the speediest way to complete an event. I don't know if
Panthers?
No, because Berserkers aren't enough to one-shot units, but Rangers are. And so those units that your Panthers get stuck on, your Rangers just one-shots them to free them up. So everyone just moves quicker.
Unless they're streaming.
That's true. But I am less than 10 hours away from Castle level 23, everybody.
Nice, dude.
But It'll probably be a good 3 months before I've upgraded, with 5 builders going constantly, before I've upgraded enough to get to castle level 24. Upgrade times are ridiculous at this level.
Yeah, you're almost at the max. Does it take you a week or something?
It actually takes longer than... It takes about a week to upgrade one farm. Congratulations, Ferenic. That is a huge accomplishment, man.
What do you do?
He hit castle level 23.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna have to go. I have stuff to do.
Alright. Make sure to come back and tell us about your spider exploits.
Well, the spider is smush, but recently I've been staring at a beetle. Just sitting there.
Alright, you're going to be missed, man.
I was pretty much brain dead last night, dude, but you were making me laugh with your spider comments.
But it was so cute and adorable, and then, you know, when it lifted up its head, it looked ugly.
Yep. Man, there's so many, like, your mama jokes that I could make off of that. Alright. Okay, so Rio, you're right. It is now on Ferenic. We're going to see who can get maxed out castle level 23 buildings and get to castle level 24 first. I'm going to give you a head start of about 15 hours. Use it wisely.
Whenever you do upgrade your castle shooter or any other guys on the chat, but whenever you do get your castle upgraded, what's usually the first, you know, kind of building or steps that you take through upgrade?
The first thing I go for as a free-to-play player is my my gold reserves, because when you're up this high in level and you have to save up gold for the big upgrades, one attack can set you back 500,000 gold or more if they hit your garrison. And so every little bit that you can get that you can protect, it means that one less attack you have to do to get that extra gold back. And so those are the first 3 things I upgrade, followed by the actual gold buildings to increase my capacity. And then then I go right over to the food stuff and do the same there.
And then you hit your unit building upgrade after that.
Oh, you're going to need to repeat that. You were breaking up a bit.
So after you take your reserves and then your farms and gold mines, you then hit your unit buildings to upgrade.
Oh yeah, go straight for that. You know, normally I go for armory, and then right after the army I go for the Goliath pin, and then Panthers, Imperials, Grenadiers last.
Yeah, I was just curious, like your process for everyone has slightly different. I was just curious.
Wow, Ferenic Dragons is in top 100. Congrats. Yeah, you know what? That's something that should probably be said. I'm going to talk to Game Rescue. Tell him to put up a video in his beginner series about building upgrade priority. So I just thought about it. It was like those who have been playing for a while know what you need early on. And those that haven't are just like, well, what do I do from here? Let's see. One thing I like about Berserkers is they are fast. So on maps like this where I got to run them around, makes it a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed on that. This is one of the very few events I've actually had a 4-star Titan to use to get full boost. So yeah, it's been at least for me, it's been a big difference. I remember when I was going for Thor, I didn't have any Lightning Titans to get a boost. I had to go the entire way with.
I didn't have any Lightning Titans either, but I had 6 Epic tokens saved up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot here because I really want the boost. And I got a Solgar before the end of it, level 30. So I got really lucked out. Now my Solgar is level 34 and hasn't been touched since. That's fine with me. Like, just due to the randomness of Titan drops and skills, you know, it's not a big deal if I don't use a 4-star Titan again, as long as I keep them around in case they become relevant for any grinding I need to do.
Yeah, I don't have any Star Ranger, but that Italis is enticing, but I don't think I have the capacity to grind that far.
Italis is good. You know, he was my 3rd Ranger, actually. My 2nd one was Calvarax. 1st one was Solzar. I mean, people keep telling me I need to level up my Calvarax, but I don't know. I just don't think that's my playstyle. Dropping a bunch of skeletons around. It sounds fun for a few battles, but then I'm like, it's not like I can really abuse the relics with anybody else.
Right. Because as you said, for attacking, you can't put that on your garrison or your land.
Rio, I understand. If I had the right skills on my Solgar, I would absolutely level him up because he buffs Spearmen. And even now, Spearmen don't get the love they deserve. Everyone's so hyped about Panthers and Archers, even more so Imperials than Spearmen. I will say that I still have no love for the militia. For the longest time, they were the 2nd worst unit in the game. And then Panthers got their big buff, and then they become the worst unit in the game.
Yeah, I mean, developers are some creative guys, right? I don't know. Redeem militia to actually make them relevant.
Congrats, Rio. I will say that some of the most frustrating defenses I've ever played against have been Spearman defenses. That's why, you know, whenever I heard that they were getting some buffs, I was like, wow. They are a very underutilized unit. When I first started the game, I used them solely as meat shields for my Rangers, and they worked well. Get 1 or 2 Spearmen in there, and they just got all the enemy units stuck, so my Ranger could just plow into them at will. That aside, it looks like my next 2 big units I will be doing with Castle Crushers, Titans I should say, are Mamesh and Freya. Freya, that's going to be a painful one.
Yeah, Freya's just with pretty much.
Mamesh, though, he's the main unit I used to grind on a weekly basis. I try not to fuse any other Titans into him so I can use him for a long time before I have to get rid of him. Yeah. Well, my first episode of Castle Crushers was for House of Pain was with Venom Tusk, and wow, like, did great clearing lands, but castles, it was just brutally painful. Alright, so Old Krothos versus New Krothos. I have an Old Krothos I'm grinding this event with right now. Compared to New Krothos, there's not a comparison. New Krothos is superior due to the direction the game is going. If I wanted an Imperial defense, I would go with an Natalis over a Krothos. Alright. Old is better potential, new, more consistently useful. I could see it being better potential when attacking, but New Krothos can be used someone on defense. So I go with versatility over one trick pony any day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing one for after last year, I got him up level 40, so I started putting him on the garrison with some of the maxed out routes that I. And when I had my Thor on my garrison, I was getting hit, not very many greens, but I had those up there for like the last week and a half, and not one person tried to step my garrison, so I really don't know how useful he has been as a garrison defender, but I'm sure other people out there have used him already can talk about them.
Well, I'm not going to say he's game breaking in defense, but I could see him getting a few greens for those that are unprepared. While the Old Krothos, all it takes is a Ranger Titan, and you're done.
Right.
Old Avalos, much better potential. Like, the potential on Old Avalos, I think. I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe that with the same skills, ideal skills, that an Old Avalos is superior to an Old Skolnar. And that's simply because Imperials run quicker.
Yeah.
And the new Avalos, no, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't even think he has as much potential on defense as the new Krothos. Because the whole purpose is you got to surprise people with your damage if you're going to get greens at that point. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. It's all good. I guess I haven't seen an old Avalos before. Only what kind of? I mean, I know it's different every time, but in general, what's the skill set?
5 defensive skills on Imperials. But, he could get resist melee, he could get resist Titan. Now, while he had a more potential, the new Avalos is more generally useful, because if you could get a terrible skill set on old Avalos, and then he'd be garbage. Not even worth leveling. But that's the problem with Guardians. They're either amazing or they're fusion food.
Yeah, with the trend of Titans that we're seeing come out recently, what's kind of your general preference, or and do you like the old way of getting Titans where all sets are going to be random, or these fixed skill wisdoms where they're going to be good, but they're not great? Like you would get a really lucky roll on the Titan.
To be honest with you, because my focus has mainly been on relics, I like the guaranteed skill set better if I'm going to invest my time into one. Because then I can plan around building around him. But there's no denying the power of the old random sets to get you a perfect Titan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a player, so I kind of trend towards more of the tech skills myself. Yeah, just as you said, when you go against an old school Thorg or an old school Freya that's just kind of got the perfect skill sets, you know, and obviously those are definitely much harder to take down for sure.
Well, anytime I came across a perfect skill set Titan, whether it was Avalos, Freya, or any of those, I always assumed that they cheated to get it. And there was a way that you could actually do that. And you're right, House of Pain. If you're free to play, you ain't getting a perfect Titan. Unless you played long enough, like I have, and somehow got a perfect Odin and Siegfried in the same event.
Yeah, you just gotta fight for pocket too.
Yeah, you just got to get a mascot in your team. And that's what Pisces is. Oh yeah, those beta Titans. They used to have different skills. I believe that they had, you could get like a custom skill on some of them. Because I've seen some paladins had skills that were so unique that, they're no longer in the game. Yeah, those shards, jeez. And I saved several shards for the longest time, and whenever they decided that they were going to bring that stuff back, then I ended up selling them. I sort of wish I would have kept a few, but I was like, these are just taking up relic inventory space and not going to be useful. Okay, I'm just going to call them the Airplane Titans then. Is a strong word, because it was a glitch that you could use in the game. And airplane being that when you would go up to see what your Titan skills were, if you put it in airplane mode right before, if you didn't like the skills, then when you're fusing up your Titan, you could always backtrack and then you level up the skill again until you got the skill you want. So yeah, you're right. Cheat was a strong word. It was left in the game for a reason, and those that used it, congratulations. Unfortunately, I was too stupid to use it for the longest time, and I didn't get to get one of those Titans. So that was me being a little bit resentful for something I could have done.
Yeah, this kind of crazy smart some people are with some of these games. Just other things that they could figure out, those kinds of like strategies and tactics and whatnot. I was like, I'll never think of doing something like that.
Well, Farang says it's still in the game, and yeah, you're right. The lock skill Titans, I guess you could still use it with, which means I can use it with this Krothos here. So if my last two skills become the most ultimate abilities known to man, you guys will know exactly what I did. Airplane Commandos. Overall, I have liked the direction that the game has gone. I know a lot of people are upset at times, but looking at the game as overall for the health of the game, the system that they have currently in place, they're making enough changes to where the game is still staying fresh to an extent. And for a game I've spent so much time on, I'm glad to hear that, because that means I can still find enjoyment with it down the road as well.
You know, one thing on this game, I don't know if they'll ever get time, but is to be able to have the ability to battle somebody, right? So let's say you select the capital and there's a little icon that shows that person is currently logged on or active, that you can actually go through a battle where you're both controlling the same.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys now that I think long term with this game, I don't know if I'm going to they're going to have to do something very unique with the release of 5-star Titans down the road. And we all know it's gonna happen at some point. But if our 4-star Titans just overnight become totally obsolete, that might be enough to make me say, you know what, I think it's time for me to move on. Because
yeah, when that you pour so much into it that completely becomes irrelevant overnight, like that, yeah, that'd be just hard to like, because I'm done.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I have completely irrelevant level 64 4-star Titans now. But the fact that no one else has more skills than that makes me feel inclined to keep them. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, they could just add castle levels to in-game, thus increasing troop levels. 50 tokens saved up. Congratulations, House of Pain. And House of Pain, if you'd like, we have a lot of people over here in YouTube, and you're welcome to join us. All you got to do is Google search Shooter McGavin, Dawn of Titans, and you're going to find my name is spelled SH0OOTER McGavin, MCGAVIN. So same as in omelet. What if you, Rio asks, what if you could fuse 2 max 4-star Titans into a 5-star Titan that has X skills as part of its 2 troop types? But then, once again, like, I thought there would be issues with the release of 5-star relics, but the way that they actually release those relics fits perfect in the game. It doesn't make 4-star relics obsolete. And so I'm hoping that they can find a similar way to do that with 5-star Titans. I mean, I'm just really impressed with how they release the 4-star relics and how they're not overpowered, but they can be an essential part of any Titan that's part of those classes. Look at that Spearman. Taking so long to take out. Mad respect for that guy. House of Pain, I got 2 5-star relics completely leveled up. But yes, it's not like I could do it in one session, leveling them all the way up, because you just don't have the food to do it. And if you're at lower level castles where you only have like 2 million food max that you can, oh man, leveling up those 5-star relics would be awful. All right.
So I've seen you be able to forge 4-star relics from 1 to 10 all in one city, and yeah, you say it takes you about 420, 450 relics in order to do, forge them to get to that level. How long would you say it takes to level up those 5-star relics compared to your 4-star that you've done?
I actually found that it took less relics to level them up, but the fact that for like a 4-star relic, it would take something like 700,000 food to upgrade a relic. For a 5-star relic, it'd take you something like 12 to 15 million food.
Jeez.
And the thing is, you'd have to wait for that next successful day and have max food to even have a chance at it. So, I mean, they are extremely expensive. Alright, Rio says, what if they did Ascended Titans? They gain elemental aura and have their level raised. skill and relic added. Let's see. I could see that. I mean, it wouldn't make your 4-star Titans incredibly useless, but they would have to do a very limited release for those things. If they became common use after a month, I still think there would be an uproar about the loss of the time and investment in the current Titans. While relics are something that can be swapped from Titan to Titan, you can't do that with Titan level or Titans that you get. You either keep them or you fuse them. And that's the fundamental difference between the relics and the Titans, and that's why I always go for the relics.
I can't remember if you said this in your event video, the one going on right now, but what's yours and everyone else's opinion about having those Titan-specific experience relics? Now, yeah, having them take up a slot that could be gems or something else, kind of stinks. I know we would all want something different, but what do you think of just the idea of introducing those specific relics to level up specific Titans?
Honestly, the way that they did it in this event, I think, is genius. Because they do not take up slots for the main things that you're aiming for. They are at 500 intervals when normally there would be 2,000 or 3,000 souls in between your big ticket items. And so these are a great way to not only get your Titan experience, but they're extra 3 and 4-star relics that you can actually fuse into other relics.
Yeah, just the fact that they're only one use, you better not lose that battle.
That's right. And even if you lose the battle, it's not the end of the world. So I think they did a good job introducing them here, and they found a way to do it that they're not taking away from the overall raiding experience, because you're still getting the relics that you want as opposed to one-use items. I mean, when they were first introduced, I thought, man, they're just going back to the days of durability on relics, and I'm like, that was awful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that big of a fan, to be honest, of the current XP relics, the general ones that they two events ago. Only because I get them a lot in drops, and so I have so many that are unused, 1 and 2 star, that's in my inventory that I haven't been using. Just for the sole purpose of I don't really want to take up a relic slot to risk losing the battle or losing a bunch of, troops potentially in that battle.
And I can respect that. But look at it this way. If they are 1 and 2 star relics, how many of those 1 and 2 star relics, if they were actual relics, would you ever use in a battle? At least there's a temptation to put it on when there's less risk. And they would serve a better purpose than all of the 1 and 2 star relic drops you would ever get.
Yeah, that's...
Now, I will admit that I use them whenever I get them, but especially their 1-star relics, I don't know if it's actually worth the 10 seconds of time it takes to equip that relic for the benefit that I'll get.
Right.
So, I mean, but there's something there, and that's why I thought this event was interesting with the way that they have them spaced out, because a 3-star relic, one-time use, it gives me enough experience. I'd be willing to try it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think again, I haven't used any of them, so I don't really know how much are they really, buffing the tech specifically, but the fact that they are at those 500 soul increments would at least, once I get up to that, to achieve those, I know having the 100 increment would definitely help me motivate, push to that next app, in one sitting. I wouldn't be so disheartened. Got another 1,000 souls, another 2,000 souls.
Well, then there you go. Like, I'm really actually curious on what is going to happen once you know what, my brain just shut down. I forgot what I was completely saying there.
That's okay. Not on a daily basis.
Alright, here we go. Oh, we got 11 watching at the 55-minute mark, guys. It's at this time that the East Coasters are going to start dropping like flies. Here we go. I'm going to check my soul count after this here, and I'm hoping beyond hope that I am at 7,500. So I've done a lot of battles.
Difficult to get 700 just on here with you.
Alright. Now, it'll be about another hour and a half before most of our friends across the pond will get up. But we have a few in here now, Cage being one of those guys that gets up really early. Oh, I forgot to check my soul count. I'll do it right after this one.
I just got to give props to Cage because we're in the same alliance. He's been rocking on our team as far as getting soul counts and VP. So props to you.
What alliance are you guys in again?
NT Knights.
NT Knights. You know what? I think after this event, or maybe next week or so, I am going to make a pilgrimage across all of the NT alliances. Because, to be honest with you, the only two I've spent any amount of time in is the main one and Rogue Squad.
Yeah, it was a couple. We had JJ for most of the week. They went back up towards the final days of the event week, but just in like 4 days or whatever, he already had quadruple VP as the rest of us.
Wow. How much VP does he normally throw down on a weekly basis?
How many does?
Yeah, how many does Cage throw down?
Oh, Cage is at the top, 2 to 3. He's on the upper level.
2 to 3 mil? That's respectable.
Along with Talladega, Amir. I don't know if you know him, but yeah, we got some big time contributors, at least for our level and members.
You know what, Rio? I appreciate that. I think that would be great to do. I mean, I've been part of Non-Toxic since a long time ago. I mean, I was part of other alliances before Non-Toxic, but sort of found a home here because the very simple fact that people are non-toxic. It's nice. I mean, I've been part of other alliances where if you are 50 VP shy of your VP goal at the end of Wednesday, that they throw a big hissy fit and they're like, "What are you doing? You're going to get replaced." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine with me, man." And so I don't get me wrong. I love putting up the numbers to show my participation and support of the alliance, but it's my choice to do it. I don't need someone breathing down my neck on a game I'm supposed to be enjoying.
Yeah, I mean, I first heard of the whole non-toxic family, just looking at the leaderboards and seeing that different non-toxic alliances are towards the top, and some of the YouTube videos I started watching when I first started playing, Go Dan Zalon, talking about their, and then just chit-chatting through Go Down on YouTube. He was like, "Hey, if you're, interested, join band and message Talladega, see if they have a spot." and thankfully they had a spot, and he allowed me to jump in there. And then as I started exploring the band app and trying to explore like what is like non-toxic, right? I mean, it's kind of a unique name, but that started like reading the descriptions and the requirements, kind of like on the kind of players that they want to have, and I was like, man, that's real respectable, because I mean, let's be honest, you got a lot of a-holes, out there in the world and on mobile games and whatnot, and I cuss a lot, but not on the games and whatnot. But it is just nice to know that there are alliances out there and people that care about the culture.
It's true.
People are.
I've got to interrupt you real quick because Rio's asked this question twice. This is Doom on voice chat with me right now, or Drew Little in actual chat. But go ahead, Doom. I'm sorry to have interrupted.
Oh, no. Bonnie, I was just saying how this is definitely the first alliance group I've had that actually has like standards, as far as like character views and being a positive contributor and stuff like that. It's nice to be around a lot of other like-minded people, because I mean, yeah, we're not going to have guys that are trying to cap, event land, or just always target Garrison and weaker players and all that stuff. Like, we got certain standards and whatnot. I just think it's real cool, and yeah, I like it. There's guys out there that will bounce around to the different levels when they're taking a rest. Just wanted to catch up with some other players.
It's true. After this one, I will show my soul count as well as show you guys what an off week in their main non-toxic alliance looks like VP-wise. So, because we're not pushing for VP this week, and I think we're number 8 on the most competitive server in the game right now. And I think if we were pushing, we could probably get number 4 or 5. But the top 3 in here are just like the beastly ones that even the fact that I think our average level in non-toxic is something like 21 at the moment, that we could not compete with those guys because everyone's castle level 25 and has like 10 level 60 titans, it feels like. Alright, so here we go. Soul count first. We're at 7,668. And VP, I'm sitting currently at a little over 3 million. So, main non-toxic alliance, our top guy right now is about 5 million. Now, normally by this time of the week, we'll have 2 or 3 people over the 10 million mark. And I'm typically consistent where I'm at right now. I normally put in 4 to 5 million because I don't concentrate heavily on VP. And I'm typically sitting around middle of the pack. So that should give you guys an idea of how hard non-toxic typically pushes and how much of an off week it is since I'm in the top 5.
Yeah, we all need that break without always having that pressure to always, show up and show up in week out. It's nice to have those breaks for you guys.
It's true. It is true. I like to normally time my breaks from non-toxic on weeks that I have 3 days where all my 5 builders come off of building.
Give your builders a rest.
No, I want to make sure that I'm farming for gold as opposed to VP. To make sure my builders never get a rest. Although I've thought seriously about giving them rest so I could get my upgrades back to where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think then I'm gonna end up my strat. Again, I'm a newer player, so I'm figuring it out every day and always learning something new. But definitely gonna try it at least come Monday when the season resets to really try to make a push for capping high reward VP lands. For the first couple of days of the week, just to see like, hey, how high can I really get? I know a bunch of players will be capping them back and things like that, but just kind of like that going back to the beats to see how much VP I get. But I'm going to be honest, the majority of it just by rating VP lands, the rest of it in events like this. Like I'm at a little over 3 mil right now, but I'd be interested to see if I do try to commit a couple of days of the VP capping, what I could get to.
Well, I think that's a good idea. I mean, the first few days of the week, it is all about capping VP lands. Because before anyone crests that 750,000 to $1 million mark, all of the VP you're going to get from castles is minimal. So capping the VP lands is your best use of portal stones. And as a free-to-play player, honestly, if I were to really push it and not have weeks where I concentrate on building or anything like that, and I concentrated solely on VP, then I could see myself between 8 to 10 million VP. Now, if I were to push it on, like, solely rating VP lands on weekends, rather than just finding whatever I can, I could push that a lot higher, because I get a lot of battles in on the weekend. But at the top leagues, when you're in those top 3 spots and you are fighting, expect to go to sleep and wake up completely landless. And whenever you are actually attacking, it is crucial you are hitting with enough speed to... House of Pain, that is an interesting concept. And I think I might actually do that. Make 2 or 3 videos during the week to let you guys know where I am and my strategy as free to play on maximizing VP. The only problem with that is it would have to be done on a week where those Monday events are not tempting, and that the event on the weekend's not tempting either. But 8 to 10 million is what I think I could get in the course of a week without the use of any portal stones or anything like that. And that's with the fact that my garrison's constantly going to be bubbled at that level.
What was the event called again? Go to the temple, you make like a gem pull, and you get five titans out of that one pull. What was that?
Oh yeah, called? That's like Year of Plenty or something like that.
Yeah, it seems it's the fusion event. Oh, bro, if we're going to get that one or other Spoils of War event early next week coming around.
Man, if we get Spoils of War, there's no way I'm doing a VP event that week, because I live and die for those Spoils of War.
Oh, I know how much we all do.
Well, Rio, if you could use a good war, come to Non-Toxic on like next week. Because what's going to happen is these leagues in Legend are set by the time Wednesday goes around. And so there is so much bloodthirsty fighting on Monday and Tuesday. We'll typically organize... and on the weeks where I know events aren't going to be that exciting, I will save the event relics, or the event portal stones. Save 50 of them or so for one of our attacks that we do during the week. So I can do my part in completely stripping another alliance bare of lands. Yeah, Legend League can be painful, House of Pain, but it is a different playing experience.
Talking about the wars that the alliances get into on the Legends League, and just listening to other players talk about it and hearing stories like with what you're describing and whatnot. I mean, I'm still a young player, right? But even as a younger player, I was always wanting to get up to that Legend League and try to find an alliance and, earn the rewards and whatnot. But even after just being in Masters, for the last couple of months with the Knights, and just to see what competition are in Masters, and then having that even higher when it comes to Legends, kind of like blows my mind a little bit. I've always been interested in maybe for an event or just one season hopping up, to Rogue Squad if someone's going to make like a big push for event souls and whatnot. But then I'm thinking, because I can get the VP and the soul count, whatever, but I just wouldn't want to be that liability, that one soul player that's always going to get targeted, and bring down the VP for the rest of the guys. So I know some other guys in our alliance are wanting to go up to, Legends and make a push and whatnot, and Talladega's doing a good job at keeping all our expectations realistic when it comes to that request.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different ball game, and people get, offended in Legend League. Like, if you are the type of person that gets attached to your lands, you're not going to make it in Legend League. Like, you have to expect to wake up naked. And just have that mentality of, okay, I got to build back. And, there's something, while it sounds horrific, awesome about it, because whenever, for 3 days straight, your alliance gets targeted and that you get bubbled every 2 seconds, at the end of those 3 days, at the end of that siege, the alliances that have true metal, because there will still be 50 people in the alliance at the end of those 3 days. And that's when you feel attached to a group of people. You're like, wow, these people are as crazy as I am.
Yeah. That is, one day I look for good VP lands to raid and cap. I was going to either the top alliance or second alliance, whatever. And I was looking, I was like, man, what the heck? None of these alliance members have any lands. I was like, how are they in first place? They don't have any VP lands and whatnot. So I'm just looking to raid. And so I just posted, I zoomed out and just posted a picture of it on our alliance fan chat. And then Captain Meow was like, that's what we call razor burn. From getting shaved so much.
And to be honest with you, now that I've been in Legend long enough, it would get boring if I spent time outside of there for that reason alone. Because now non-toxic's at the point where we can throw our weight around at times. There's certain people that, we will need to team up with other alliances to take down. But, just to show you guys on stream, and you're right, even at level 21, 22, you are still at a huge disadvantage to the guys that have higher castle levels. I want to show you guys the number one alliance in this game. They are League of Gods, and their motto says everything about them. Kill them all, no mercy.
Jeez. Bro.
That says everything about how they approach the game. And, these are the high spenders in the game. I was on a stream where they were talking to some people that were interviewing them, or the leadership, and I got one of my questions asked to them. And I said, hey, do you guys have any F2P players? And if so, can you give them a shout out? And they sat there for a few minutes trying to figure out what F2P means. I mean, literally, I was shocked. Yeah, they are scary players. That's true. But let me tell you, if Non-Toxic says, hey, this week we're going to war with Log, I would be all in on that. It wouldn't matter how hard they strip my lands. It would be I am going to do my part. I am going to attack. And if I'm going to die, I'm going to die with my brothers.
Right. It's just like that, the whole 300 mindset at the end of the movie.
That's right. And Non-Toxic has made leaps and strides, because when we first hit Legend League, we were fighting for 13th place. That 3-star Titan that you could get. And for a long time, that's where we held. Wow. House of Pain says they have one player that's maxed everything and has been playing for years straight.
With that jump with, did you say that was with Non-Toxic or Rogue Squad that made that big jump from middle of the pack up to third?
Oh, that's Non-Toxic. Rogue Squad is one that is trying to get the amount of people that... And, we have a lot of inner swap between the two alliances. Like, when one of us gets placed in the bad league, where it's too much fighting, then we'll swap members to have the other one push for a 3rd through 5th spot. But Non-Toxic is where most of the heavy hitters are, and Rogue Squad has a few of them as well. But we're friendly enough to where, we swap in and out at times.
What do you feel is I guess factor as to you guys' status that much, and then just being able to find certain players that join you, or is it more organized, strategies from, Bo and some of the players? What do you feel has been the main contributor to that?
I think it is a combination of the strategies, because before we had to learn how Legend League strategies work. But I also give a lot of credit to the YouTubers. They have brought in, when we started off, we had, 2 Non-Toxic alliances. Now we're up to 5 or 6. When we get that many people joining up, it's a community that the ones that are most committed will naturally filter to the top. And that's where we're at now.
Yeah, it has been around times that you've been able to see, kind of the evolution of the alliance. So I'm sure it's a cool thing for you to witness.
It's true. It's just when you get in League, you have to be in a different mindset. If you are a free-to-play player in Legend League, you have to create your own little strategies to even survive and level up. If you do not have those in place, you will be eaten alive. If you're pay to play, then you can always pay to get the resources that you need. So, it's just, once again, once you get to Legend League and you can tolerate it, you'll never go back to anything else. Not for any length of time. You'll always miss the bonding that happens up here, whether through victory or through defeat.
Yeah, one thing that we've been trying to do, at least at our level, for a little while, again, being a Masters, right? We've always been in the middle of the pack, never in the top, from within, nowhere near the team mode. Always been still 13, 14, 15 spot, and we've been trying to get some more guys together to get some group raids together. I tell you what, you do that, I feel more, at least for me, more of a bond. Granted, we got guys as well as your alliance as well that have people across the world, right? Not everyone can do it at the same time, but you know, Cats and Captain Willie and some other guys from Australia, you know, they'll organize it where they're doing it in their time zone, and you know, some of us here in the U.S., you know, organize it to do it a small group together, and you know, sometimes you know, Cage or someone else in the UK can jump in with us, but yeah, definitely doing those kind of team activities is beneficial for sure.
It's true. Now, Rio, I want to tell you, thank you. If a Warwick log does happen, we will be calling up all our best people, and I'm sure we're all going to have a blast. And thank you for pointing out there are 7 alliances. We are expanding faster than I would have ever thought. And then Pharenic says, I wasn't active enough to stay in Legend. Battling is the reason I enjoy this game. And you're right about that. That's why at times, whenever I feel like I've got to have an upgrade week, I'm not going to bring my brothers down by not hitting the minimum VP needed. While I'll always hit anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 million, even on off weeks. The minimum right now is 4 million on push weeks. And I'm always one of those guys that hits quota, and I don't want to be one that they ever have to ask to step down. Donald says I'm fired. That's funny. All right. Here we go.
I mean, I could go back to banning those old messages, but since you're already in Legends, if you could try to hold down. I know we got gladiators that's going to roll out immediately into Legends, and I mean, have we just? I mean, I say as in the non-toxic, you know, family, right? But have we had just a huge surplus of new people wanting to come to the Alliance, so they just, you know, created a new one in Legends, or what? How did that all get started?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we have too many people requesting to come in, they'll look at appointing a leader from an existing alliance to start it up. We're getting to the point, though, where the leadership capacity, I mean, while we could have more people leading up the alliance, it'll be hard to really incorporate them completely into the non-toxic family. So, I mean, we're almost at breaking point, I should say. So it's, I don't know, I mean, I could see, because of that, there may be some offshoot alliances in the future if we can't get to the point where we handle it, because you know, a lot of that leadership stuff, you know, not only goes to the leaders of the individual alliances, but the leaders of the overall alliances. And you know, Zalan and everybody, they're our mascot, there are cheerleaders up top, and APOC is still technically the leader of the non-toxic group, although he hasn't been playing in a long time. But he still communicates with Zalan and Bo and everybody. But, you know, I would be sad if the community can't incorporate more alliances, but hopefully these, if there are offshoot alliances, they'll just, I don't know, they'll hold the same standards.
Right.
I'm saying, what I'm really saying, House of Pain, is good things don't last forever, so you got to enjoy them while you have them.
Like the current system.
Yeah, like the current relic system. It is bigger than just DOT, but our DOT groups, I mean, we're if it wasn't for amazing leaders that are currently running our alliances here, I mean, we couldn't provide that culture across all the alliances. But even those leaders need a place to go, and you know, I know they have like a weekly meeting with APOC, where they just go over goals and everything like that. And so, they put in the time. And so, it makes it easier on the rest of us who are just grunts in the system.
Yeah, we're just the berries.
That's right. So eventually there does have to be leaders that will always step up and do what needs to get done.
Yeah, that's what I was. But there are so many NT alliance that, everyone has like kind of that alpha male, personality, right? And it always interested me that with so many different alliances and leaders, like, do they have, weekly meetings like any other business, or how that works?
Yep, that's exactly what they do. Keeps them all focused. And to be honest with you, if I could manage extra meetings during times that they were available, I'd probably step into some leadership position. Because although I'm free to play, I've been a part of the group for a while now, but I sort of like where I am at the current time.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if time permitted, I mean, your name is big enough, and you've been around long enough that everyone, I mean, not everyone, but I think a lot of people, know you, respect you, value your opinion and whatnot. I feel you would be a pretty good influential leader if you ever decided to step into one of those spots.
I hope so, because if not, then, whew, that'd be brutal for everyone involved. I'd have a CEO complex. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. And then all of a sudden, all that non-toxic stuff I've learned over the years would be gone out the window.
Yep. She gone.
I appreciate that, Rio. I will give it some thought. But as for the moment, I prefer to be the spokesman for the free-to-play crowd. Although we are not as many as other crowds, I thought for the longest time I was the only free-to-play player in Legend. But since I starting this channel, I've gotten messages from a lot of people, and it makes me feel like, there's a place for us, even in this game.
That's why I stumbled upon your channel, but man, I'm glad I did, because starting out playing this game and leveling up and getting up to Castle 15 and whatnot, for the longest time I was like, man, you're only going to really be good and benefit from this if you're spending a bunch of money. Or I mean, yeah, I spent some money and whatnot, but it was a blessing falling into the channels like yours and Godans and Game Rescue to learn that you can survive and thrive in this game by utilizing those strategies that you guys keep preaching.
It's true. And once again, the big advantage you get free to play is the grind. I mean, you get so much more in drops than any of the people that pay to play.
I mean, this is just me personally, but since implementing a lot of more of the strategies that all you guys free to play have been, preaching about, is that when I'm starting to adopt some of those methods, I just feel like a lot less, pressure to try to do too much too soon, and then I can just sit back and relax and kind of let the evolution, grow and flow as it's supposed to, and not get because I'm not like a head case. I get anxiety issues all the time, but I can just sit back and relax and chill and just enjoy the game for what it is.
That's true. I'm curious, Drew. Do you remember the first video that you saw on my channel? And how did you actually find me?
That's what I can't remember, is how I found you. It might have been, I really can't remember. I wish I could. But
were you part of Non-Toxic at that time?
Yes, I was. I think what happened is I stumbled across or I was watching some of GoDam's videos. I think one of yours were recommended, and then I know that the title caught my attention on YouTube, so that I just clicked the link and started watching your videos. And it was the free-to-play series. I don't remember which one I started with. It was one of the later ones or the earlier ones, but regardless, once I started watching those and listening to your commentary, I was like, man, this dude's smart. I should probably subscribe.
Man, that just goes to show I can fool even some of the smarter people.
No, I think that is how I found out about you, because I was watching GoDam's videos and then your videos and Game Rescue, and that's how I found about him. It was recommended to me from YouTube. That's how I found you.
For real. Congratulations on getting to 9K. You have a wonderful night, man. You earned it. House of Pain, I appreciate that compliment, man. I haven't been doing it as long as some of the other guys, but I will say, after having streamed for a little bit, I can see the need for actual streaming as well as content creation. They serve a purpose. Both videos are important because they serve a different purpose to the community. These streams, though, I mean, to be honest with you, for free-to-play players, I think are more important than even the content creation. And that's simply because no one wants to grind out 1,000 battles alone on a weekend.
No, dude, I've just been mindlessly going, and I've picked up 1,000 souls just by sitting here and just chit-chatting while we're both grinding, so that's been a benefit. But, I mean, I love the content that people put out with the event analysis and, you know, post-developer stream synopsis and whatnot, but, yeah, these live streams to where the conversations can kind of just grow organically, and random questions or random thoughts can pop up, and those can trail to different, you know, strategies or whatnot, picking up tips. That's where I find value in these streams.
That's true. And, you know, there are a lot of people, like House Pain says they come by just to visit how far you can get. Oh, I just got a milestone unlocked. Wow, check that out, guys. Got 8,000. I'm 1,200 souls into this stream.
What was that, the...
No, the goal was to get to 10,000 souls, so I'm way off from that. Celebrate each little victory, though.
Yeah, I'm happy that the Ice Helm and Ice Buckets are in this event, because I need a copy of the ones I already have, so I'm pretty happy about that.
It's true. It's true. I actually think what's going to get me off of this stream, beer in hand when you grind. That's awesome, House. What's going to get me off the stream isn't necessarily time, but it's going to be I run out of cat troops, and I started off with like 130 of them. Rainmaker, welcome to the stream, man. You know, grab a chair, pull up your phone, or iOS operating system, or Android, and enjoy the grind, man. This is still Saturday night for me. I know for many of you it is already Sunday. And I'm going to go ahead and post in chat the link to Discord once again. And if you guys, new guys, want to jump in, have some thoughts to share, this is your time to speak to the community. Alright, West Coast people. You guys are right there with me. Time frame. Oh man, I wish I'd have followed Jason Jerome's, like, he said he was going to post in chat, but he didn't. Oh wait, never mind, that was the wrong thing. Oh, here's Jason Jerome. Oh snap, look at that. You are the man, Jason. Sunday evening. Oh, he posted his Minnie's castle.
Oh.
Let's see. I remember when I was castle level 12, the first time I developed a strategy to take out a castle level 25 land. That land did not have any extra troops except for the base troops, but I had to use every single troop I had to distract so my Titan could kill the level 25 troops. And it was the most amazing feeling because I felt like I could say, "Eat it," to the guy who I was taking the land from. Little did I know that it was a throwaway land to that guy.
Like, oh,
That's exactly right. Alright, Clint, what you missed was the most amazing 100 soul grind, or 1,000 soul grind that I've streamed today. Because I had one yesterday too.
yeah, you last night that your wife and kids had some things going on today. You had the afternoon to yourself. How much grinding did you get to do alone time?
Oftentimes when conversations happen like that between spouses, it's an over-exaggeration of what's actually going to happen.
Okay, got it.
1,000 soul grind, hey, congratulations. I will say that I was able to get about 2,500 souls off grind, so that's still quite a bit, and because of that 2,500 soul grind, I more than filled up my relic inventory from yesterday. Unfortunately, this is not a night for upgrading, as it was a failure, but tomorrow morning I'll be trying again, and tomorrow night I'll be trying again if the morning fails. But I will get, from what I'm estimating here, 3, maybe 4 4-star relics leveled up from 1 to 10 this weekend. Which is probably one of the bigger weekends I've had doing this. And it's just because this weekend, actually, it has been incredibly hard to find lands that don't have full amount of troops. And that's fine with me, because I am able to do this.
Yeah, you don't normally go for those undefended low troop numbers.
I'll do them when I find them, but I would prefer to do lands like the one I'm doing now, where I maximize my drops. Like if I wanted to do undefended lands, I'd just go over to League of Gods right now and attack their lands.
Now, I know your inventory is at max capacity. Was it 500, 550 relics?
Yeah, 500 is the max capacity.
I just haven't spent the gems yet to increase my capacity.
Yeah, and it does require some gems saved up. Yeah, that's no lie. Alright, so Mark says, as castle level 17, level 20 plus PP lands is a nice resource for Titan, but I don't get that relic drops. Want to start forging 4 stars. Well, and to be honest with you, at level 17, you will be the low man on the total pool in any Legend League. You're probably better off staying in Masters or something like that for another few castle levels. Don Powers asks, what's your forging superstition, shooter? Alright, so my forging superstition I've done in many videos, but what I'll do is I will go in, I will have a bunch of food saved up, I'll have more relics than what my inventory can hold, and I will forge 6 times into one of my 4-star relics. If I get a success, I go all in on that day, relying on the luck of the day to get to level 10. And I'll just throw all my relics into it. I found whenever I do that method, it takes normally 400 to 450 1 and 2-star relics to get a level 4 relic from 1 to 10. If I use 3-star relics, the number drastically drops. Like yesterday, it took me about 250 relics, utilizing a combination of 1, 2, and 3 stars to get from a relic from 1 to 2. But if I do not get this, I will wait until the following day to try again. So that is the basic idea behind my forging method. Call it superstition, call it what you want, but I think I've got one of the largest 4-star, completely leveled up 4-star relic collections in the game.
You said that was Clint that asked that question?
Yeah.
And Clint,
No, Don asked the power. What's your forging superstition?
Oh, Don did. So, Don, I mean, I was always people where I'm just like freaking banging my head against the wall and wasting all these, relics and just trying to forge as much as possible. But once I did start to use the method that Shooter was just describing, it definitely has gotten a lot easier. I mean, let's say in theory that it's not even really an increased chance of luck, but at a minimum, just to have like that kind of a systematic approach could just make the forging process a lot more doable, to where you got a method that you can kind of follow, whether it's success or fail. It just doesn't, at least it's not where you're continuously doing it. It's just always failing all the time. And it's just like kind of random. I mean, that's just my process, but I've never had as much success trying to get these 4 stars all forged up than doing what you described, whether it is increased luck or not. Since doing it has helped me out.
I'm glad it does help others, because this has been a problem in the community for a while. Now going down, Clint says, by the way, I'm starting to lose land. I don't really care. I just get new ones, but I want to know what happened to the Titan that was on the land that I lost. Oh, the Titan normally just goes right back to your inventory, Clint. When someone captures it, you don't lose the Titan. He just goes back in your storage. Mark says, I'm staying in Platinum League with my clan. We'll get to Legends League as a group in due time. Yeah, congratulations with that, man. I remember making the climb up months or years ago, I should say. Not quite years, a year and a half ago. When I got to Legend League, I was like, man, this is brutal, because at that point, you had basically the alliances that had all beta players, all level 25, and then the alliances like the ones I was in, where we're all like castle level 14 and 15, and we were like, how in the freak are we supposed to compete against these guys? And the honest truth of it is we couldn't.
Just got a nice little 4-star Mountain Fist drop in battle. So
congratulations.
I mean, I think I told you, I really struggle with getting 4-star drops in battle, but any of them that I do, it's all been Ragnar relics, Mountain Fist or Glide Belt or the Glide Hammer, whatever it's called. It's never been any other element. Any other 4-star basic elements I got was from the Theaters of War, where you get all those 4-star relic drops.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is, but each account, it seems like, favors different attack types. Like my account, it is physical and poison. That's where I've gotten 90% of my drops. Everything else has been a little bit here, a little bit there. With the exception...
Get myself a Yard Dog.
There you go. I got my first Yard Dog, I don't know if I got it all right before or right after I started streaming. He's like level 12 or something like that. And he's on a back burner because I'm leveling up my Odin before him.
Yeah, I mean, the last that came out, I had him. I just didn't have the gems to be able to do it, so I just went for Thori. But I would like a Yard Dog one at one point.
All right. Clint, you don't really know what you're doing with Titans and forging. The forging, go watch my video, free-to-play series, tip number 10, Spoils of War video. I have an extra tip on how I use my forging method there. As for Titan leveling, concentrate on any of your 4-star Titans, and if you don't have any 4-star Titans, then 3-star Titans. The reason for this is, yeah, 3-star Titans are still going to be dominated later on in the game, but 3-star Titans have a much easier chance of maximizing the output of resource lands to give you the most amount of resources for your time. If you have 2-star Titans, when you get higher up in levels, they're not going to do nearly what you need them to do. Because even if you have a bad 4-star Titan, the fact that you can get more levels on them than a 2 or 3-star is what's going to allow him to give you more resources.
Yeah, I mean, the only 3-star Titan I have maxed out is Logu. And, you know, there's obviously 4 stars that are on my list that I want to level up, but I'm really contemplating on stepping back to level up my Sardu all the way up to 50 as well, only for that reason. A, you know, Grenadiers on defense are always not fun to go against, but then B is, yeah, just maximizing the production that your VP or your resource lands can give you by having, you know, those maxed out Titans. And we know that leveling 3 stars is a lot easier than trying to get a 4-star up to that level.
If you don't have any 3 stars, save up your Titans until your thing is completely maxed out, and then level up Titans that you plan on fusing into 3 and 4-star Titans. So just take it one day at a time. I mean, to be honest with you, if I were you, it'll be really monotonous, but for the next month and a half, I would do nothing but go into Gold League and jump into the top alliance so you can maximize your gems as well as get a 2 or 3-star Titan at the end of the season. I think it's a 2-star. And then whenever you can go to the Platinum and do the same, do that. But just keep saving up gems every week and see until you can get to the point where you can get weekly 3-star Titan reward. Once you get to that point, keep doing that for a few weeks, get your 3-star Titans, and by then you'll have a Titan strong enough to be able to grind your way out to a 4-star Titan.
So this is a question I try to get an idea from different players, because I just like hearing people's thought processes behind it. And one of those things that it seems everyone has a different method of is Titan fusion, or, you know, fusing. What's kind of your strategy with that, Shooter? Do you just kind of, say if you are working on Odin right now, you know, do you just fuse Titans into them as you get them? Do you wait specifically for fusion events? What's kind of your process with that? It's going to be slightly different.
Oh, thanks for asking. You know, to be honest with you, what I do is, you know, I always have more Titans by a week and a half in than I can hold, so I can't wait for fusion events. And so what I do is, yes, I will always make sure I have maxed out Titans every Monday, because Mondays are the only day that fusion events drop. But during the weekends when I go in, or weekdays where I go in and I have maxed out Titans, what I'll do is I'll normally wait to see what the next big event is going to be and who are the Titans that I can get the bonuses from. And then I will throw a bunch of my level 1 Titans into that guy, hoping to get him to level 20 so I can use 2 relics for the grind. So I try to maximize my output there. House of Pain, you're welcome to jump into the general channel. Share with us your thoughts.
So you're not necessarily like one of those purists that, oh, I only same class types into each other.
Oh, but when you don't have 4 stars of all the classes, then no, there's no reason to be a purist. But once you have one 4-star of each class, even if it's subpar 4 stars, and especially with the arena, it's best to get the most out of your XP. Because if you get your guys to level 20, one, they're going to be useful to you whenever they're going to be bonus titans. Two, most of them have to be level 40 before you max out what you can get out of arena, the Titan Arena relics. Alright, Salty Skywalker asks, hi, when do you think the new event will be? I don't know how often they come. There is an event every weekend, Salty Skywalker. Normally there's an event, I mean, right now there seems to be 2 or 3 events a week, or at least this past week there was, between Theaters of War and the Pit. But there will always be something earlier on in the week to keep you busy, and then each weekend they'll start in either on Thursday or Friday. Now, choosing which events to complete is going to be important. If I was new to the game, yes, I'd be trying to pick up my 3-star Titans that I could level up, but I would be saving up enough in my event relics as well as gems to complete that next big meta-changing event. Like, the Odin event was one of those events. The advent of the lightning troops, and getting all of the relics associated with that. That would have been a good event as a start-off, because it gives you a launch into the new meta as it's happening. These middle events, like what I'm doing right here, they're just there for upper level people to pick up extra relics that they missed along the way. So this is definitely not something I would concentrate on as a newer player. Because by the time you get to the point where you are competing in the high legend leagues, any of these secondary events will have just been obsolete for you. And this Titan that you get from this event, and while I don't really ever do events for Titans, there are very few Titans I think are worth risking it on. It's just good to understand, when to play your cards and when to hold them.
Yeah, and that's the reason why this event is only for Orb of Justice. If it wasn't for that, I already have all the ice relics that are in this event, aside from the brand new ones they just introduced. But I really wasn't concerned about the Titans. Really, not that concerned for Divine Gems. Unlike a lot of, yeah, they're super valuable, right? But I know some people are trying to get as much as humanly possible. It's just for that one Orb relic. They're at 17,000. It's the only reason why I'm doing this event. And yeah, being able to pick and choose, what your goal is in each event, something that's going to be manageable for the gem amount that you have, instead of trying to complete each and every one or try to get that last Titan at the very end. Yeah, just as Shooter said, definitely having sitting down and just thinking, what's my basic need, and kind of writing down what's your needs analysis for right now, and that can help you decide as far as what you want to go all the way through, or what you're just going to get the minimums on.
And as for your question, Clint, I'm going to go ahead and take it from the perspective of which relics are the best depending on what level in the game you're at. If you are at in-game, like I am, your best relics are going to be troop buffing relics. If you are still early in the game, like where you are, go for things like Dragon Helm, because the Dragon Helm will buff the Titan that you're going to use, and Titans rule the early game. Champions are amazing early game. And, there's nothing better than having a Dragon Helm on your champion. And even as you're scaling into the mid-game, let's say you have a Paladin you're leveling up, that Dragon Helm will be great for that Paladin as you put him on defense. So these troop relics that you have, your troops are still pretty darn weak. So rely on your titans. Alright, now I'm going to get off my soapbox.
This is just a personal question about the orb that's introduced in this event. I mean, yeah, we all like the orb as in the individual milestone rewards. I mean, who wouldn't want them to be in there? Everybody. But how do you feel about it being introduced as a milestone reward as opposed to a alliance award, to where, you know, it is going to, if they start introducing more of these orbs in the milestones, then yeah, it's definitely going to saturate. You're definitely going to have a lot more people with those. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, the 5-star relics. If too much of them are going out there, then they start to be, you know, devalued somewhat. So what's your thought process with that?
I think with the limited exposure that people have to high or top end content, that most people will overlook the orbs and not think too much of them. And when you look at them, those stats don't look necessarily amazing at all. And by themselves, there are individually better relics. But the fact that the community has YouTubers out there that are calling out these relics that potentially are game-changing and busted and give reasoning for it, those people that, you know, listen to these channels are the only ones that are going to have a heads up on it. And so I don't think there's an issue offering them in regular rewards, because most people, even if they get it, it's just going to sit in their inventory without having any idea how to use it. And I'll give you an example. Alright, so I'm going to go over to my Matano. My Matano is currently using 2 orbs. The Orb of Death and the Orb of Duality. The reason for that is I am desperately trying between the 2 of those to get my poison resist and my ice resist up to 90%. I don't have a mounted armor that's going to give my Panthers ice resist or poison resist, so I need to have relics that will give me that, and those orbs are able to do that. And so I have my Orb of Death, which is giving me physical and earth resist. That's nice. Then I have my Orb of Wealth, which gives me ice and lightning resist. Then I have my Orb of Duality, which gives me poison and ice. And so between the 3 of these relics, I've maxed out my poison and ice resistance, which everyone knows is the 2 most critical ones. With my 2 next mounted armors and my Orb of Justice, I'll have my physical resist maxed out, even though I don't have an ability for it. And so, all that being said, my Panthers are going to be incredibly hard to kill unless you're running lightning or earth. And even earth, I have some resistance in that area as well. And so that's where those orbs come in, because there's not a lot of relics out there that give troop resistances. And that's why they're so powerful at the moment, because you can use a combination of relics to make your mediocre Titan into a wall that people are going to have trouble getting by. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's good perspective.
Clint says I'm using level 6 Grenadiers, 2-star Edena, and with the 3-star Dragon. If you're using an Edena, a Archer, I would use I think it's like the Giant Sword or something like that gives Titan boost damage. Dragon Helms aren't good on Rangers. Daggummit! How did I get Venom Tusk in this battle? Alright. To work, you pig. All right.
Yeah, how many the different orbs are there? I mean, yeah, I can go look at the DOT database, but while I got you on the phone, I just thought I'd ask you
How many what?
how many different orbs there are.
You know what? I think I've got all of them except for 2. So I think there's like 7 or 8 different orbs that they've released.
No, I didn't realize it. I thought it was kind of one for each element, you know, since they usually introduce them in the events.
Maybe that is the case. I'll have to check.
You can have an answer in a second.
Oh, you see? Just because I was explaining the orbs, I lost the attack on that other VP land.
Oops, my bad, dude.
No, it's okay. Me being nitpicky, that's all. Alright, let's get this Venom Tusk off. Let me go over to Metano. Dadgummit. I don't want to recall him, so I'm going to have to... Let's get back over to Krothos.
Yeah, I can't. I've made that mistake.
Well, Krothos is so close to level 40, and he's one of the Titans I need at level 40 to unlock one of the 2 best relics in that Titan arena.
Yeah, I've definitely been able to boost him up quite a bit. He started this event at level 47, at 52 right now.
You have a higher level Krothos than I do. And you've had him for a shorter amount of time.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm going to finish Thor. I'm not going to start a new Titan until I get one done. So I got him finished. And thankfully, that happened right when the Fusion event happened. And I had 250 some odd Titans. And let's be honest, I only got about 8 4-stars, right? So I just unloaded, I mean, all but 3 of my 3-stars and everything else. So I put over 215 Titans into him and was able to get him from level 1 to like 42, 44.
Wow. So
and I just tried a couple of battles to get him a little bit more leveled up before this event started.
So you took him from useless to useful all overnight.
Thanks for that Fusion event and the wonderful timing, and I guess the stars just aligned properly. Yes.
And that will always happen. It's like my Metano I currently have. In one event, I got him up to level 45 from like level 5. That was nice. And so he went from being useless to immediately being a land protector. That is getting me a lot of greens.
Yeah, I still have very good land protectors yet. I mean, all my lands are undefeatable. I mean, I used to Auto, and I was working on leveling for a while. He's like level 27. I just don't think I got a good one. I mean, I guess it's all in perspective, right? And the relics you got. Triple armor on there. And I can't remember the 2 other element resist, but I don't know. I just don't feel like that's kind of one of the game-changing ones that a lot of great players have out there.
Well, you know, I will say that for the longest time I was like, man, I don't have very many Titans at all. And then one day I woke up and I was like, wow, look, I have to scroll to get through my 4-stars. So everyone will get to that point. It just takes a little bit of effort. And as I've said oftentimes in the past, about 80% of my 4-star Titans are completely useless. I should have fused them, but once again, I go for maximizing bonuses. Even now, I've stopped the leveling of my level 53 Freya. so I could level up my Thorg, who's like level 20, because I only need them at level 40 to get the big relics in the arena, Titan Arena. Let's see. Let's find out where I'm at in the event now. Only 8,400, guys. If I were to go to 10,000, I'd have over 100 battles left. Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna push to go for all the way through this event. That frozen rune is not worth it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And once again, I'm going to have a... Oh, let me go ahead and shout out. We have 17 people watching now, 2 hours into the stream. Everyone's been bleeding in. Even though East Coasters have gone to sleep, I am sure our friends from across the pond are joining us in droves now. All of you new people, as well as people that have been here a while, let's have an update on where your guys are at in your soul counts, as well as what your goal is. How close are you to your goal for the event? And because I've got you in here and you cannot escape, Drew, let's start with you.
I'm at like 1150 right now, so I just pulled and used that last token. It was only a 1 star, so I didn't get very far with it. So yeah, I'm at a little over 11,000, and like I said, I'm going for the orb first and foremost. So getting there, and I guess I'll see how far I can get while I'm still on the stream with you.
Sounds good.
I may pull another token just to speed this up, but until then, I'll just keep doing it old school.
Understandable. Cage says he's at 10K, and he's aiming for 21. He's going for that Italis. Mark's at 1350, go aiming for 6,500. That's what I'm talking about. He's going to go get that 4th token. I am at 8,400, and I am trying to get to 19K for this event. It's always odd whenever I have my goals and I tell everyone I'm going to get, because my numbers are always, like the number I'm going for is always different than everyone else's. I'm thinking, okay, if the orb is at 17,000, I can grind out 2,000 souls and get a net gem increase with that 19,000. There we go.
Oh no, I'm not going to have enough gems to get to that 17. I'm going to have to dip in the wall a little bit.
Do what you gotta do, man. That orb, those orbs in combination right now are just too good to pass up.
Yeah, I mean, are they getting the 3,000 gen epic token, alliance reward, but never close enough orbs, so I gotta take advantage of this.
Fair enough. Lawrence, it's good to have you in the stream. He's at 9K and going, man, you're already beating me, Lawrence. I've been grinding all this time and I'm already behind you. That makes me want to strive for more. But I gotta tell you, if I am half asleep in the morning when my wife wakes up, I am gonna be in trouble, even if it is Father's Day. So I gotta find that easy medium tonight.
Wait, hold on. I must be the biggest idiot. Father's Day is Sunday?
Yeah, it is tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. Yesterday, Friday, So I called my dad this morning. I'm talking to him. I'm like, give him this, heartfelt, love conversation. All what a great daddy is, like that. He just soaked it all up. Right? He had it.
Sounds like something a dad would do.
He's both, man, this little jerk. I'm just gonna let him pour his heart out and make it again on Sunday.
Exactly. You should call him up and say, I don't appreciate the fact that you're making me call you twice.
I was like, Dad, you and I are both busy. I know you know this. No, it's all good. Yeah, completely thought it was all. Yeah, my bad.
Don Powers has got a different strategy he's using for that portal stone. Or that, not the portal stone, but the end of the event relic. He's going to use it to replace a 3-star skeleton ring so he can have those extra free spells. That's interesting. I'm of the opinion if it takes me more than 6 spells in a battle to win, I didn't deserve to win anyway. But then again, I honestly think once you get your fireball to like level 21, you don't need to level it up anymore after that, because at that point you can take out any of the ranged troops that don't come at you in one shot, unless they're being buffed.
This rune, the very end of this, that's the only ice spell or frozen spell.
Yeah, it gives like 3 free spells.
So, okay. So, I mean, I know a lot of people really, like spells into relics. I get that. I fully understand. I don't want to sacrifice a skill slot that could be boosting your Titan or your spell. But what I've been able to success with my Thor is to, get the braces of Deceit and the shield of Fear, or however you pronounce it, and the fallen shoulders have 9 of those lightning spells. I mean, granted, I'm right? I'm not at the same level that you got at, but it has helped, doing a lot, taking out some garrisons and armies much quicker because I'm able to just use 9 spells that come for free, do a lot of damage to the Grenadiers from a distance and can help speed up those battles. So I'm not completely opposed to having those spells and those relics, but, again, I'm a lower level.
And I can see that totally. When you're at lower level and your troops are something like 4 or 5 levels beneath who you're attacking, spells are the only way you're ever going to beat them. And so, I guess I just get lazy with that fact that I have gotten to the point where my troops are high enough level to where I could even go toe-to-toe with a level 25 guy with the right relics. And so, if I was 3 or 4 levels below that, though, there'd be no way that my archers from Siegfried would be able to do anything against Metanos out there.
Yeah, I have not had the displeasure of dealing with level 25 Panthers yet, thankfully.
That's alright. It's not the level 25 Panthers that will get you really frustrated. It's the perfect roll Skolnars. Well, it is incredibly disheartening to see your group of troops run at a bunch of Goliaths, and those Goliaths just mow them all down without taking any damage whatsoever from your troops or your Titan.
Oh, I know. Faced one of those before, and I didn't even kill one Goliath.
Yeah. Those perfect roll Titans or whatnot, they are definitely the bane of our existences in this game. Oh, Clint ran out of portal stones. That happens, man. Especially early on in the game.
do like how, I mean, because I'm back on my main castle, training more troops and whatnot. I do like how during the ice event they changed it to all like snow and ice on all your buildings and lands. Like I know they did that with the Eurocore. It almost looked just the Eurocore event. You know, it just looked like it was just your castle on a sunset. But it would be nice to have like your lands changed for different element, you know, Titan events that are going on for a weekend.
All right, so Mark asked a big question. Mark, there were such roles as perfect Titans back in the day. Before Rangers became part of the meta, the most impossible units to attack were the Skolnar Goliaths that had 100% resist Titan and 80% resist melee. Because at level 25, those guys, I mean, without Ranger Titans boosting them up, you have to rely on archers, and you needed the right archer relics just to get past the armor, built-in armor that Goliaths had. And so it was just brutally painful. I mean, those were like unbeatable defenses. Big Games. Welcome to the kingdom, man. Thanks for the subscription. Alright. And that's a nice looking Sardu you have for your picture as well. Here we go, here we go, here we go. One day Imperials will be back in the meta, and then I won't be using an Imperial Titan with Panthers. I think it is time to load up more Panthers in my build queues. I am 100 Panthers away from having max Panthers. That's crazy.
I have been training imps literally round the clock since yesterday afternoon.
That is awesome.
Just because they can't, but I like that they rate that.
I can get behind that. Honestly, it's kind of sad watching my Berserker try to kill this Panther. Anytime where your Titan is fighting for its life against one unit, you're just like, maybe I should just hire that one unit, because he's obviously tougher than my Titan.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've taken a couple battles I was able to take this Crocus and just solo one when I was trying to save on troops that were training up.
Yep. Veronic, I appreciate the fact that you know my pain. You got that right, you. We are all crazy. And those of you who are new to my channel, the crazy type of crazy we are talking about is we are up late playing a video game, and we are all in the same boat, which means we're all a little bit more insane than the general population. In my case, and in Doom's case, we are even more so insane because we choose to talk about it openly.
I know, it's like whenever I was like talking to people, I was like, what do you do on the weekends? Like, what do you do for fun? Like, oh, I just play on my phone. I got this cool game to play. And they're like, how old are you? Like, 32. What does it matter to you?
Exactly. We grew up playing games. Why would we stop now?
Tell me what to do.
Alright. Thank you, Cully, for the Happy Father's Day. And Salty Skywalker says, I've been grinding this game hard. In a week, level 12, 140k VP. Sadly, my cannons. To be honest with you, Salty, once you get to level 15 castle level, or even just a level or two shy than that, go over to NT Knights. It's a fairly active group that you can learn some of the ropes. And maybe not even, I think it's Warlocks you got to go to. Knights are looking to promote to Legend, which Legend will not be your friend. Legend will make you want to quit the game if you're at level 12.
Yeah, no. I mean, we're in Masters right now, and I think that we're going to stay at Masters for a little while until we start getting, not stronger players, but until the rest of us start getting our armies and castles at higher levels. I think we'll be Masters for a little while. I don't think we collectively are ready for Masters yet. One day, but not for a while.
Fair enough. And Verenic is right. There are some of us out there that have multiple accounts in this game. So if you think we weren't crazy enough to have a high-level account, we have a secondary account that we're leveling up even as we speak. Alright, well, Knight's not going to be going to Legends. Oh, wait, that's right. We have another third Legend League that's just starting. But yeah, I mean, for now, I think you can apply to NT Warlocks. What I would recommend that you do is that you go and download the Band app on your phone. And you search for the non-toxic group. Once you've we have an open form. Once you're in Band, go post your name and just say, hey, I'm looking for a spot in NT Warlocks, and the leader will get in contact with you. We'll be happy to have you. Our group is full of people that are ready to help you out as you need. And as you get to higher castle levels, we have different alliances that will be able to accommodate you no matter how high you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, you got you got the Legends, 3 of them. You got us and the Knights and Dragons that are in hers, and then two other alliances below that. I mean, there's a different level depending upon where your castle level is at. Whether you're trying to get in the league and you're going to be pushing, be a distributor in alliance to get that top rank, or you're just looking to level up your castle and your castle and your titans. That's all you really care about. There's a place for.
Now, what I wish could happen is Legend League wouldn't be as competitive as it is, because if that's the case, then non-toxic could get top 3 and have 5 slots open. Invite 5 of our newer members at the end of the week to get a 4-star Titan to help them get started off. But problem is, every man is needed at this moment to get to that point. Maybe we'll get to the point where we can start doing that in the future, though. That'd be a great way to get people jump-started.
Yeah, I remember Joe Blow from our alliance did that. I think he went up to Rogue Squad, I think for the own event. Yeah, to where he went up one because he knew he was going to complete the event. And, if you can get 27,000 souls, if not more, that's going to help your alliance out. So he went up to Rogue Squad for that 1 week and then bumped back down to help get the rewards.
Yep. It's flipping amazing. Now, I'm sure I would join you guys in your acquisition of 1- and 2-star event relics, but I am determined to get to the Paladin before I start pulling event relics. I need that 2 times boost to make it most worth it to me. But that just means I'll be clawing my eyes out in this grind.
It's been brutal.
Yeah, you could join the band group, Clint. I mean, our band group is open to everybody. There will be a general form that you start off with, but whenever you are brought into one of the non-toxic alliances, you will be invited into their specific band chat as well, so you'll have another area that you can meet with those guys, ask questions as well. So, download it, come on in. You can contact any of us specifically there as well. So if you have any questions or requests on future upcoming video content that you'd like to see, the YouTubers are always in there listening as well.
Or it's just when you want to get updates about Pisces, Ayaka.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to get an update about a champion Titan that you will probably never have or level, you can always count on Pisces to share with his infinite knowledge on those champions. You don't need to be castle level 15 for Warlocks. You need to be at, if you're going to compete in something like the Masters League. Not that high. No matter how much help you're getting from your Lions group, you're just not going to be able to do much in Masters League. You'll be spinning your wheels. But I think Warlocks is our main developing group, and they're not in Masters. I think they're in like Champions or Platinum.
Yeah, Warlocks, one of those two.
But join us in band chat anyway. We're always talking about how to improve the game in our main chat, so at the very least, it'll be something educational for you that you can take to whatever alliance that you choose to go to if non-toxic isn't your fancy. Alright.
And then it's also a good place to just bounce ideas off to other players when there's an event going on, just to get feedback. Hey, how far are you going?
Yeah.
How far are you going? And people can give their input, Yeah, I'm going all okay, or am I touching that 24,000 mark?
Let me see if I can post the band link in chat.
So what is that?
That should be the band link directly to the non-toxic band. So feel free to click on that on your device, download band, and then you should be able to hop right into the public channel if I'm not mistaken. What was that, Drew?
I was just asking which alliance is Riohan in, if you know?
I think he's in Knights. No. I think he's in Rogue Squad, maybe.
Anytime that jumps on one of the I really enjoy listening to him because he sounds really smart by the way he talks.
Yep. He had me fooled for a while too. Just kidding. That's just me being tired. He's awesome.
I was like, I really sound.
Oh, Rios and Dragons. Cage, you're probably right. I've always wondered what it'd be like to be that guy that drops down to like Platinum League and his level 23 castle.
Just owning.
Exactly. No matter who I attack, it's auto target.
Good way to speed defense.
There you go.
Yeah, our alliance, like, since joining Masters, Cage, you might be able to help me out on this. It's probably been like, I don't know, 5, 6 7 weeks at this point, but we're always trying to get on the same server as the Dragon so we can help each other out for events and stuff like that. But this hasn't worked. This hasn't worked out to pair it up in the same server yet.
It's hard because there's so many different servers down that level. In Legend League, there's only 2 servers. So, Rogue Squad and Non-Toxic have strategies that we use to make sure we get on the same server on the right weeks. Yes, you will lose your current event progress if you leave right now, Salty. Wait until the event is over before you switch.
Yeah, definitely don't switch. I made that mistake when I first started playing. I was like, what?
Oh, that stupid logo.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't freeze her. She shot down one of my Panthers. And I would much rather use a Frost spell than a Panther at this point. Because Panthers, I am backlogged for a long time on. Alright. Gotta find my next set of lands to attack. Ooh, look at that. Yep, non-toxic gamers. That's true, Clint. That's where we're at.
Sorry, my pen. Way too hard.
Yes, I think you should absolutely be shot and castrated for your sins. Oh, man. That was a lot funnier in my head.
I was like, man, I got no make.
I hope Talladega gets better soon as well.
Yeah, that was crazy when we got that news.
It's true. And to be honest with you, having a name like Talladega makes me think of the infamous Ricky Bobby from everyone knows Ricky Bobby.
Speaking of, I'm drinking Mountain Dew.
Son, let me tell you something. If you're not first, you're last. One of the best movie quotes of all time, people.
Come at you like a fire monkey. Maybe from now on with your live streams, Zalon's and Bo's streams, they always start talking about food when they start getting tired. Maybe we'll just start making movie quotes.
Exactly. Honestly, the last time I had a 3-hour stream, because I just hit 3 hours now, our conversation devolved into that very quickly. And it just made the stream so fun.
Yeah, who knows what our mental state will be in once Pisces gets back on.
That's exactly right. Perhaps then we'll be seeing spiders.
Or, as said earlier, now beetles.
Exactly. I get a kick out of him every time he's on my channel.
I don't know, this would make me laugh.
Yeah, and that's what we need at times like this, more than anything else.
I know. I don't know whatsoever, but just on the chat, on Discord and the other streams, he just seems like a legitimate good dude, but such a goofy personality, and I love it.
Yep. A perfect member of Non-Toxic. Alright, here we go.
It was a band chat, but I think Diddle that made the post, or it was somebody, but Pisces is bragging about his level 58 Ayaka. It was like, hey, Pisces, I got a joke for you. What do you call it whenever Ayaka raids a garrison? A yak attack.
You know, Drumadiddle and I, at one point, were only a half a level. I was only a half a level behind him in leveling. But whenever I got frustrated over that whole fusing a Skolnar, I took a long break. Come back and he's like 3 or 4 castle levels above me. Then he finally uses gems to just say, hey, forget it, I just need to be castle level 25. He's been chilling up there ever since. Man, I'll hit 4 million VP again this week without really trying.
That's always nice.
Yep, it's supposed to be a break week, but I decided to do this event. Wow, okay, so have you ever watched SAO Abridged?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Watch that particular anime. Even if you're not a fan of anime, you will absolutely laugh till you pee your pants. But there's a part, I mean, they make fun of MMORPGs in that anime.
Yeah.
And there's a point where it's talking about glitches. And there's this one character that's completely glitched out. And so when he speaks, you have that, like, fluctuating microphone voice. And so every time you talk, occasionally that'll come up, and I can't help but think of that poor guy who's glitched out.
Well, I with got people at work that's, I mean, my mind is always running a million miles a minute, so like I could be up and then just completely stop focus on what I'm thinking, whatever, and everyone always says I look like my brain's glitched out.
Well, Cage does have a point. It is a great one, but understanding what the original one was about actually helps out quite a bit. But that is a lot of hours to commit to anime. I just thought whenever I watched the SAO Abridged that I was just laughing till I was crying, and that is one of the best feelings ever. Alright. Wow, I am now maxed out in food and gold. So I am ready. Congratulations, welcome back, Clint.
Well, I barely did a battle that got high of a level. Like I was going for level landing, but the cap to higher level wasn't paying attention. Just completely wiped out my whole.
Wow.
That's a Homer Simpson.
Oh man. Alright, here we go. Attack, you stupid berserker. I need this attack to go quicker than this. Oh, no, we're not waiting. We're not waiting for my guys to get off Fear Spell. You're getting fireballed down. Alright, let's see where I'm at. 8,826. Alright, guys, I am only going to push to 9,000 tonight. I have got to get to bed. So I've only got maybe a few attacks left.
What time is it for you? I haven't even looked at the clock since I've been on the stream.
It's midnight for me right now.
So that's 2 p.m. here right now.
There you go.
Well, the stations and do it.
And thank you, by the way, for everyone who's joining me on this stream, because we have had it range anywhere from 3 people at the very start up to 18 total, and it's nice to finish right in the middle with 11 people watching. 12 now. We're growing even as I speak. Thank you for that shout out, Cage. I appreciate it. And those of you who are new to my stream, feel free to check out my playlist on my channel. There's great info on how to play this game without spending any money whatsoever. I try to get... Go ahead, Drew.
Needs to watch it.
Yep.
And no, I'm not endorsed by Shooter, and I don't get paid by him. But it is a good series.
And if he did, I'm a slave driver. He'd get less than minimum wage.
Well, I was about to say, subscriber.
You know what, Yoon? Curse you. Yes, you're beating me, but know that last night you were beating me by 3,500 souls. And at the beginning of the stream, you were only beating me by like 3,000 souls. Later, Clint. I'm going to catch you. Just like I caught you in the Valkyrie event. I was looking at my arena this morning, and I actually have less than 20 Titans to go to have a maxed out arena. Yes, SOA the anime, Yoon. While I'm a fan of the SAO anime, I am a devout guy about the SAO abridged issue series.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess in the series I really follow.
Fair enough. So close. Where I'm at now, I am something like 10, 11 battles off. Gotta find another alliance. Oh, forget it. That reminds me. I do not want to lose these lands tonight. I'm going to throw Okosi on this land. Strip it of all of its troops and spells.
And I can't battle. And it made if you get to higher whatnot. But do you remember that YouTube battled for a minute, like on a timer?
Yes.
God, I hate that.
Oh my gosh. I know what you're talking about. Hunter x Hunter is another good one. I don't have much time to watch anime, and if you keep suggesting these, they're going to pop into my mind when I don't have time to watch it. And then I'm going to like it. And then I'm going to feel responsible for telling people about it. And the vicious cycle will continue. Alright. We are getting to 9,000 tonight, guys. That means today I will have grinded out, without token help, 5,500 souls.
Like better, man?
You know what? You say better man, but what you really mean is crazier man.
Let's just make it more efficient.
See, what I should be doing now is managing my side business. While there's nothing imminent that needs to be done, I should be updating my web pages and finding additional suppliers. But what am I doing? I am murdering grenadiers anytime I see them. And that makes me a better person.
You are murdering grenadiers. Now, I know you are in, marketing for your main career, but what's your side business that you're doing?
I sell right now. I've started an e-commerce store as my window into that world. So I am selling hoverboards currently that I'm finding from U.S. and Chinese suppliers. I'm just marketing them.
So I've never bought a hoverboard. Just saw this for the first week. So it's kind of a hoverboard, but it's a board that's almost a giant wheel. Like, seen or heard of it before?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have those available on my site. But to be honest with you, like, I'm not the type of person that would ever buy one of those things. I just know that they're big in the market now, and my first website, I just wanted it to be something that had a market I could sell to, that I had sold a great deal for my clients before in the past. So the way it works is that I secure a supplier, I build a website, and I sell their product, and I take a portion of the sale as profit. So I don't have to actually hold in any inventory, which is really nice. But I'll get to the point where I have my own inventory. Eventually, I'll have my own website that I offer more than one type of item on. And it'll be like a general store.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be great. I mean, eventually I'll get to the point where I have my own product lines I'm offering, but for now I'm just figuring out all of the other aspects of business that I don't know, since marketing is pretty much all that I do know.
Yeah, I mean that's something that they didn't do it to take it a different, because that's not present, but that's what more people at my company right now. I'm basically keep it simple. We train athletes, professionals, and so we got one out of the country for expansion, whatnot, and our company started to offer college courses, to the employees that want to further their education in different, markets. So I always figured it might be cool to take some business classes.
Fair enough. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have even gone down this route if I didn't have the chance to speak to entrepreneurs every day. They do think completely different than the rest of us, and makes me want to make sure I don't work for somebody else for the rest of my life.